Welcome back, y'all. Amanda had the great idea of doing a quick little channel update, not necessarily a build video in this video here, but more of a get you up to speed on common questions that we've been getting from friends, family, viewers, and whatnot.
I was watching the video from January of 2021, 4 years ago now.
Which is so cute.
It's so cute. It was like our video we did, the who, what, when, where, why, when we first got our first kit. We were answering common questions, and honestly a lot of what we said still holds true. But I think
we were a little optimistic. I think at some point there I said we'd have this built in 3 years.
Yes, we were a little optimistic.
We're not near the 3 year timeline, that's for sure.
But I think there have been, now that we're way past where we started, new questions have arose, common questions from friends, family, and general people that we meet about the plane. So I always like write them down just because I think it's good for us to address them at some point in videos. But now we have a whole list of them, so we're just gonna kind of go through them today, and yeah, just more so an update, I suppose. Okay, so the first thing, because haven't been on camera in a while, is going to be a little life update. So if you couldn't already tell from me sitting, I am pregnant with number 2. If you follow one of us on social media, you probably already know that. I'm 21 weeks pregnant with another baby boy.
Yeah.
We're super excited.
Boy gang.
Yeah, this will likely complete our family. We feel like family of 4 is perfect, and it's all the plane fits. So honestly,
yeah,
there you go. So yeah, due in June. Not much more of an update than that, but Wyatt's going to be a great big brother. He's going to be 2 by the time number 2 arrives, so we feel like it's perfect timing. So that's just a quick little life update.
Pretty much just go out in the garage, build, and Wyatt can raise number 2.
Yeah, that'll be
fine.
great.
He's a smart kid.
But with that, because kind of like when Wyatt was on the way, it's motivating us to move even quicker because we remember the newborn days and there's not a lot of build time. So again, it plays into the mix of the plane, but that is probably the biggest update we have life-wise.
Yeah, pretty big one.
I'll turn it to you for what is the status of the build?
Yeah, so still tinkering away at the build, kind of at the point, I think I probably mentioned this in previous videos, but officially at the point, officially again, just little projects here and there, blitzing through certain sections, coming back to it. You'll see a good example, right wing here. I left the bottom wing skins off for the longest time. Now that I have my wiring kit and all associated avionics equipment from Advanced Flight Systems, I have been installing that. So I have a little bit of proof marks on my arm from doing a pretty good session today on riveting. But anyways, I'm jumping all over, jumping all around. I hope to have some videos out here shortly going over not only the overall install with Advanced Flight Systems, but also the nitpicky small details, all the things that I myself have been trying to Google, research, and whatnot. I've been on the phone with tech support a couple of times with Advanced so far. They've been fantastic answering all my questions. So thank you guys that support. You guys are awesome. Also, thank you, Kyle. I had a lengthy phone call with him the other day talking about our actual panel and whatnot. So we're actually getting ready. I actually submitted my deposit for the official panel today. So that should be coming out probably in the next months or so. But yeah, so it has been going very, very smoothly. Keep a lookout for future videos on that. Also, again, one-off projects. So shout out to Trick Minty, good buddy over in Utah. He 3D printed this for me. But little things like this is going to be the power outlet for the rear baggage compartment area / back seats for not only for that potential future Starlink, but also phone chargers, whatnot. Anyways, kind of made a cool little file on Onshape, and then he took it, went and 3D printed it. We may do some changes from here. I think I want to do a couple of updates. Possibly change the material that it was printed out of, but little fun projects like this, which is honestly the funnest part of the build, is these little things where you're really making it your own. So again, keep a lookout for future videos on that. Yeah, it's been going smooth. Riveting this is kind of hard inside the house. This is loud. It's already loud enough in the garage as it is. So this, I don't know if I'll have just one dedicated video to the bottom skins, for instance. There's plenty of other videos out there. Full transparency, I am ripping off Pilot Rhino. So Ryan, thank you for putting your videos out on that. I'm just copying what he did, and it's working really well. So take a look at his videos for the wing skins. But future videos are going to be a little bit more specific, short, punchy things, not necessarily full beginning to end types of projects, because we're at that point of the build.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the general status. Oh, okay, so a question I get a lot. So was it a year ago now? I don't know when. We were posting videos about vans and the bankruptcy, and there's so much going on with vans. And so a lot of friends had asked me like, oh, so the vans thing, has that been figured out? Is everything back to normal now, or where does that stand? How do you feel about the whole situation? So I'll let you speak to that, because I feel like you're in the thick of it more than I am. But
yeah, I think they had as positive of an outcome as you can have from going through a bankruptcy. Everything that I've seen is they're getting things squared away. They are pushing product out the doors. There have been a couple of small changes here and there that affect like minimum orders and whatnot. All that you could find out in the forums. But summed up, I guess, for our friends and family, yes, things are looking very, very good for vans. Still do have those remaining little pain points. Good example, I'm waiting on back-ordered seat foam, where you send an email out. You may not hear from them at all, or may not hear back from them for a week. So there are communication pain points.
Follow-up, but nothing that's like the end of the world.
We're going to get our stuff. I know we're going to get our stuff in the end, but the little pain points, which most builders who have worked with vans are aware of and understand, and we're just kind of patient with them through this extended process.
Yes, and then something I'll add is I've noticed, because we follow a lot of YouTubers who are building planes, and there are some people who have gone out and started build different, was it brands, as you call it? Different brands of planes. And so Austin and I have actually talked at length about like, if we were to do this all over again, would we still go with vans? And I'm pretty firmly yes on that. I won't speak for you, but just, we really did, and that's where I look back to the video 4 years ago, and I'm like, did we do a good job researching which plane to go with? And I think that is a firm yes. Like, I still think, performance obviously is very important, but also looks wise, like I'm still very happy despite the bumps that happened last year. I think all in all, I'm glad.
For sure. Yeah, it definitely does add. There's the hard part about the build is there's the manual labor aspect of the build, and then there's the mental gain aspect, just the mental side of things. And it has been hard playing with the lead times and going throughout this whole thing. There's a mental aspect where you question your decisions every once in a while.
Every time you send money.
Every time you send money, it's like, I hate that I'm sending something and I'm not going to hear back from them for a long time. But
when the product comes,
it's going to come. So I would definitely go with the RV-10 again.
Yeah. Okay, so I think from videos people can see we're maxing out space here. So a question I get a lot is, are you gonna move this to a hangar anytime soon?
That beeping noise, our rice is done. We're gonna have dinner soon. But no, we will have a hangar soon. So I am, I think I mentioned in the past, but I'm on a waiting list for a hangar at Deer Valley Airport up in North Phoenix. I'm moving up pretty quickly up the list. I've been on it for a few years now, probably, 3 years on the waiting list so far.
But I think that was so smart of you. He got on the list, like 3 years ago, and I remember when he got on it, I'm like, why would you do it so soon? That seems crazy. But now, seeing how long it takes to get on these...
And if you're a pilot, you're already aware, our country needs hangars very, very badly. And every city has you can go on Vans Air Force or wherever, everyone's always looking for hangars. So, summed up though, yes, we will have a hangar soon. Hopefully sometime midsummer, possibly July, probably right after the little one comes.
Perfect timing.
Which is actually perfect timing. So we can clear out this room. Also part of my goal with these wings and whatnot is get everything finished to where I can bring it over to a hangar, drop it off, turn this room into kids' play area, now that we're going to have two. But yes, we'll have a hangar soon. I still do plan on doing as much as possible at home. So fuselage will stay in the garage. I've read it and heard from others, keep the part that you're working on at home for as long as possible, so that is what we will be doing.
Yes.
But yeah, it'll be nice to have a hangar and clear a lot of this room out. So yeah, that'd be great.
And that's another thing just over the years that people still to this day comment about, oh, your wife is so nice for letting you have all these airplane parts in your house. But just for the side of people who are watching who maybe aren't the actual builder and you're like, yeah, you are crazy for letting that happen. I will say this, the perk of having, yes, it's a lot of plane parts and yes, this room could probably be used for other things.
I think it's artwork.
But the perk of having it at home, which probably goes without saying, is that it means Austin can be home more. Because if all this stuff was somewhere else, that means just that much more time if he's not at home. So I would take this any day. And honestly, when it goes to the hangar, it's going to be really sad to not. Because seeing it every day, there's just something that keeps it inspiring. So I like it here, but that's just me. Okay. Well, this is kind of in the middle, but I might as well ask the question. Okay, all the time, they say, hey, Amanda, how's the plane going? And I say, good. And they're like, is it done yet? How would you respond to, is it done yet? And basically, when will it be done?
No, it's not done. It's not going to be done for a while. It's hard. Any other person who's building out there, you can't answer the question cleanly unless you're near the end. We're not right near the end. We also have a very big chunk missing. The thing that the money to noise generator or the money to speed generator, the whole thing that spins, there's a required component on the front. It looks like a fan. The engine and prop. Engine, we have that order in through Vans for a Lycoming IO540 with dual PMags. That should be fulfilled in June of 2026. So that got pushed back a little bit further than we anticipated. That was
We
my
ordered
most
it a
recent
while
update.
ago, but it's just so it is so tricky because you're not only dealing with like your own ability to actually build it, but you're also dealing with multiple different people and
Forecasting.
companies
Yeah.
you're trying to forecast, okay, should I place the order now or is it going to come too soon? Oh, is that company going to come out with something new? So should I hold off?
When does the warranty start?
Yes,
On the
and
item, if I order it now, how long can it sit in a box before it can?
that's the cost.
Yeah.
You know, you have to pay money every time. So it's definitely a delicate balance. I think, like I said in our video 4 years ago, we said about 3 to 5 years, and we're going to be coming up on the how many years? 2021 we started, so math. Anyways, we'll probably. I always tell people, I'm like, maybe 2 years.
I don't know, maybe 2 years.
Yeah,
That's a solid
we'll
goal.
leave it there.
Yeah, I think the real issue with Lycoming, I think, is they're with that engine order. They still, I believe, they still have not found or sourced a parcel of property or a parcel of land where they can mine for the ore that's needed for the block. So we're still figuring out the mining for the material to then build the engine. So I totally get it, Lycoming. It does take a long time to do all that.
Okay, for a second I thought you were being serious. This is a problem with your videos. Unless someone knows your personality, they're gonna think you're being serious. Sarcasm.
Sarcasm.
All sarcasm. Okay. Okay, kind of sad one, but a very common question I get. So there have been a lot of updates in aviation news of plane crashes.
Not even aviation news.
Just news.
Media has been loving it.
But recently there was another plane crash at Scottsdale Airport, and so because it's local and I have a lot of friends who live in the area, I've had the question commonly of, does this make you second guess wanting to get into this? Like, airplanes seem very dangerous. Why would you want to do this? Are you worried about putting your son in this? Like, what if that happens to you? All valid questions. If I was someone who didn't know what I do know about this industry, I probably would be like, planes are so dangerous, stay away. So I'll have you just go ahead. Has this changed your perspective of building and flying a plane?
No. First of all, every accident is tragic. We should do our best to learn from them. Definitely not nitpick the accident, but learn from what happened and how can we let that horrible incident become an opportunity to better ourselves. So I think I view from that perspective. There are lots of things to learn. The cool thing about experimental and doing this on our own is we're going to be in charge of all things that have to do with the structural integrity of the plane. I'm going to know the ins and outs of it much better than most people do. And I'm not trying to nitpick any particular accident here, but that is a very positive aspect that I think helps me when it comes to seeing things are possibly related to equipment. Mm-hmm. Again, we don't know all the specifics of what caused things, but anyways, that's big. The other aspect of it, this is the flavor of the month for the media. Most people are aware that the media loves, if they can get a hold of something. I mean, a few months ago it was Boeing, and everything had to do with Boeing this, Boeing that, Boeing that. Even if it was some mechanic missing a screw on an access panel or something, it was not that in the headline, it was Boeing access panel. So the flavor of the month, the flavor of the last couple of months has been aviation.
Which is tragic.
It is totally tragic.
Yes.
But I do think like it'd be the same. It's unique for the media to pick up on, and it's no different than an accident happening on the 10 freeway between here and California, and everyone drives to the beach every summer and saying, "Oh, that fatality that happened, is that going to change your perspective on driving on the 10 freeway on that bad car accident?" Well, no, it's not. You're definitely going to be aware of it. We should definitely keep that in mind. Again, every accident is tragic, but it's the media. I mean, prior to this, working in law enforcement, everyone knows that you had for a while there, the media loved anything that had to do with law enforcement. So it is whatever is going to be trendy right now. That is the stuff that is getting shared and spread all over social media.
I wish
airplane stuff.
Didn't exist.
So that is the new flavor.
I wish there wasn't stories to share, but just the fact that there are alone, I think, is the point. That doesn't necessarily change our passion for it. One thing that I will say, watching, because I rewatched the video from 4 years ago now, that has changed for me. In that video, I said, I will not be getting my pilot's license. I have no interest in that. That's 100% Austin's thing. And I think that has changed. And a big part of that is because, so anytime there's, or probably safe to say, anytime there's some sort of aviation accident or fatal, anything that went wrong, there is some sort of coverage of it, and Austin will watch it. And I think that probably freaks some people out, because like, why would you want to see that? But exactly what he's talking about, you're learning from it. And so naturally, I'm hearing that. I'm hearing about all the accidents. Here's something you can learn from, blah, blah, blah. So I'm constantly getting fed information about aviation, but I don't really know what to make of it, because I'm not a pilot and I don't have the skills or training to know what's what. And so I just, knowing myself and my personality, I don't think I would enjoy flying as much if I was just like a passenger sitting by, completely ignorant to what's going on. Now I know some people, maybe that sounds relaxing to them and they're like, I don't know, want to know what's going on. I'd rather just be a passenger. But I think over the past couple of years that my tune has changed. And again, that does not mean I want to ever do that as a career. I am a full-time lawyer and I have no interest in changing that. But I still think it would be a great side thing for me to do at some point. Now, being a lawyer, I don't have all the time in the world to do stuff like that. So when it's going to happen, I'm not quite sure. But I think that with these accidents and all this news, if anything, it's reinvigorated and really like fueled that idea of, I want to be an asset to Austin when he's flying. I don't want to just sit there blindly. So that's probably the biggest thing it's done for me, which, yeah, I think just knowledge is power. So that's me.
For sure. And I guess on the topic of training, I do plan on starting my instrument rating soon here.
Yeah.
I'll probably start with the ground school, trying to coordinate everything with build, baby on the way. When are we going to have the most help from, I guess, you're taking your maternity leave? Like, when am I going to have the most free time to tackle certain aspects? First, of course, will be ground school. But then I do want to pursue, and I will be pursuing my instrument rating before this is built. Had a good conversation with I forget her name over at Gallagher Insurance. She gave me their basic requirements, and part of it involves instrument, which I know is already highly recommended. Every other builder who I chat with, or not necessarily builder, but every other pilot who does it for a career strongly encourages it, and I absolutely am drinking the Kool-Aid. I will be doing that. I definitely want to pursue my instrument rating here soon. So I think that will also help to polish me. Private is honestly, I feel like it's a license to learn is all it is. And even the other ratings I know will be further licenses to learn. But I do want to continue training on there for, yeah.
Totally. All right. Last question, and then you can just recap. Looking back, we might have answered this already, but looking back on the build, are there any big changes that you would make? Differences in how you've done things?
No. I think I do a pretty good job in the videos. Maybe I'll do, comment down below if this would interest you, but maybe I'll do like a quick check-in, because I know every video I always have something I would do differently. I make some dumb mistake, I do something totally wrong, causes extra time in the build, or maybe I choose to mount something a certain way and immediately regret it after the fact. I normally put that in the videos. I try to be as transparent as possible, because I know before I build, I'm looking for any other videos out there. Good example, the wing skin from Pilot Rhino, from Ryan. Looking at what he did, and basically, if that would benefit you guys, please comment down below. I could do like a quick check-in. Maybe it's a what I would do differently on the fuselage. I don't know. Like maybe a get you up to speed kind of a thing. I know for sure I'll do one at the very, very end once the build is finalized. But no, I'd say I've been really happy with everything with the build so far. I don't think there's any major changes.
I'm trying to think of anything you've talked about in the past.
No.
We really thought it through. And of course, in a perfect world, we would be done by now, but I think the benefit of going at the pace we've been going is it didn't outpace us. Like, we had the time to like save up money, so we're not just like going in debt for this kind of thing. It gave you time to build up skills. Like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine flying through it. Like, I'm
No.
glad you were so methodical about things. You never have rushed into it. You watched every video, did all the research. Well, I think you've said this in so many videos, but just the thing I hear Austin say the most, so I'll reiterate it, is don't rush. Like, if you are unsure about something, sleep on it, because only I will ever be the one to ever know this, but the amount of times where Austin wants to power through, and then he has the self-discipline to just say, I'm going to go to sleep. And then he wakes up the next morning and has some epiphany, and he's like, I figured it out. But I just, the amount
and I was so close to making a dumb decision. So
many times that is, I guess, my takeaway from this is, like, don't rush anything with this.
You have years to build this thing.
If it took us
one night's not going to make a difference.
No, and you think it will in the moment.
Eat that taco. Eat that In-N-Out burger.
Take a break.
It's not going to make a difference.
Watch
Just
a TV
don't do
show.
it every day.
Yeah, don't do it every day. But yeah, I think that's just one thing. But yeah, looking back, that's actually really, I'm happy. We don't have any big changes we would make.
No. You have other notes there. What is...
This is my debt service coverage ratio loan agreement. Nothing related to this.
Work. She works for banks.
I do.
All right, live from the editing table here. I realized we never actually really covered what Amanda does for work. So I'm going to put her on the spot. And Amanda, tell us what you do for work, because I think it's relevant to what we have going on here.
It is actually relevant. Yeah, I've never really talked about it too much. So my particular practice, I'm a commercial finance attorney at a firm called Snell and Wilmer, which is based in Phoenix, but is all throughout the country. We have different offices throughout the country, actually outside of the country as well, in Mexico. But my practice primarily is representing financial institutions in mostly real estate secured lending. I do other work as well, but a lot of hotel, home building, storage, all sorts of things. So that's my practice. But something that my firm does as well within the commercial finance space even is aircraft financing. So we have a lot of different aviation industry clients, and not just financing, but other pieces as well. So much to it that they help represent clients in, that if anybody here...
You've even done deals on...
Yeah, I've done a transactional deal. Obviously, I can't get into the specifics of it, but yeah, really cool, very interesting, and it really does take a firm that knows what they're doing, because there is so many nuances, as you can imagine. There's just a lot of regulatory pieces to it, and so whether someone is watching and you need tax advice, you're trying to purchase a plane, you're trying to do something with a flight school,
FBO,
or if it's litigation, our firm also does product liability. Like, it's the amount of...
One year, I'm going to get them to present at this place, Oshkosh. I think it'd be pretty cool. Actually, on that topic of Oshkosh, I'm stealing the shine from you right now. No, we're not going to make it to Oshkosh. We will, of course, have a baby number 2 arriving
in June.
In end of June, early July.
So there's no way. We wish we could.
Unfortunately, can't make it. But yeah, so
that was a side note. But yeah, so if anyone has anything related to legal matters that they need, we have a whole practice for aircraft, and you can also post right here something, the page that you can look at if you're ever interested in that. If anyone ever wants to talk to me about that specifically, Austin can connect you with me.
Or hotels, real estate deals.
Oh yeah, separate of aircraft.
Oh, that's your girl. She got you.
Just anything. If you go to our website, you'll see our firm does a lot of things. So yeah, I'm around.
Continue for the end of the video.
But yeah, I think that's it. But I'm glad we did that.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, any other questions, or any other future video ideas, comment down below. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in whatever next video comes up.
Adios.
Adios.